All right, so are you ready to dive into some really fascinating ideas today?
I am always.
Perfect. Let's deep dive into healing and religion
All right.
and the very nature of truth.
That's good.
We're going to be taking excerpts from chapters 5 and 6 of Soul in the Driver's Seat
Okay.
as our guideposts today.
All right.
So, have you ever imagined walking through a hospital, healing everyone you encounter?
Yeah, that's
It's pretty captivating, right?
It is.
But what happens after the healing,
Mm.
right? Do people just kind of go back to their lives
Yeah,
and maybe fall back into the same patterns
absolutely.
that kind of led them there in the first place?
Yeah, and that leads us to a central idea from the book,
Okay.
which is that the root of all suffering,
Mm,
including physical ailments,
okay.
stems from this illusion of separation.
Okay.
So we perceive ourselves as separate from each other,
Right.
and more profoundly, separate from a higher power, or what some might call God.
Yeah, I see that. It's a powerful idea.
It is.
And then the book throws out this other idea
Right.
that disease can be a soul-strengthening exercise.
Right.
Now, that's not really how we usually think about illness.
No.
Is it?
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm curious to unpack that a little
Yeah.
bit further. I mean, does that mean that we should avoid seeking medical treatment?
Right.
Like, should we embrace suffering?
Well, the book isn't advocating for neglecting medical treatment.
Okay.
It's more about recognizing that challenges, including illness,
Yeah.
can act as catalysts for personal growth.
Okay, I see that.
So imagine it this way. Illness disrupts our routines
Mm.
and kind of forces us to confront our vulnerabilities, right?
Yeah.
And in that space of disruption,
Okay.
we might reevaluate our priorities.
Yeah.
We might seek deeper meaning or strengthen our connections with others.
Oh, I see.
It's like the illness shakes us awake
Hmm.
and forces us to look at our lives from a
Yeah.
different perspective.
Yeah, I can see that. And there's this example in the book
Okay.
that I thought really brought this home.
Mm.
And it was, people bargaining with God to be healed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which highlights, I think, our human tendency to grasp for these quick fixes
Right.
instead of addressing the deeper roots of
Yeah.
our suffering.
Exactly.
It's like we're looking for a Band-Aid when we really need surgery.
Precisely.
Hmm.
We often seek those external solutions for very internal struggles.
Okay.
And the book suggests that true healing involves a much more profound shift.
Yeah.
It's confronting and ultimately transcending
Okay.
this illusion of separation.
Okay, so we've kind of touched on healing, but
Yeah.
chapter 6 takes a sharp turn
Okay.
into the complex world of religion.
Right.
And let me tell you, the author does not hold back.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
one statement that really stood out to me,
All right.
and it's, few have found love in religion. I mean, that's pretty bold, wouldn't you say?
It is a bold statement.
Is the author suggesting that religion is inherently flawed?
Well, I think the statement might seem provocative, but the author goes on to explain that fear and the desire for control often overshadow love
Okay.
within organized religion.
Hmm.
So think about some examples from the text. We have communities trying to ban gambling
Right?
laws, prohibiting alcohol sales based on religious beliefs,
Yeah.
and even the impact of religion on political agendas, right?
Right.
These examples highlight how religious institutions can exert power and control,
Yeah.
sometimes at the expense of individual freedom
Right.
and, ironically, love itself.
Yeah, it makes me think
Yeah.
about how much of our own worldview is shaped by religious beliefs,
Right.
even if we don't actively practice a particular religion. It's
Right.
like those ideas are woven into the fabric of our culture, right?
Yeah.
Influencing our perceptions and judgments
That's-
without us even realizing it.
And that brings us right back
Okay.
to the illusion of separation.
Mm.
Religion, despite its often noble intentions, can sometimes perpetuate this illusion
Right.
by reinforcing the idea that we are separate from each other,
Yeah.
from God, and even from our true selves.
Okay, so we've got this illusion of separation,
Yeah.
potentially fueling suffering.
Right.
We've got religion,
Yeah.
which, at least according to the book, sometimes perpetuates that illusion
Right.
instead of dismantling it. It's a lot to unpack.
A lot to unpack for sure.
And it definitely raises some questions about
Yeah.
how we approach the search for truth.
Absolutely. And the book emphasizes the importance of questioning everything, even our most deeply ingrained beliefs. It's not about blindly rejecting everything,
Okay.
but rather it's about approaching our beliefs
Yeah.
with a critical eye and learning to discern truth from falsehood.
The author even goes so far as to say that religion is largely based on superstition and fables, right? Now, I know that's going to ruffle some feathers.
Yes.
But I think the point is to encourage critical thinking, right?
Absolutely.
So if we can't rely on these external sources like religion for truth, then where do we turn?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And if external authorities aren't always reliable sources of truth, then where do we find it?
Yeah.
And the book seems to suggest that the most profound truths actually reside within us.
So we're talking about looking inward.
We are.
But how do we even do that?
Yeah.
What does that even look like?
Right.
That's where things get really intriguing for me.
Absolutely.
And that question at the end of chapter 6, if you aren't really human, or at least completely human, what are you?
Right.
Oh, man, that one stopped me in my tracks.
It is a powerful question.
It is.
That challenges our fundamental understanding of ourselves.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how the book challenges our assumptions about where truth resides. You know, we're so conditioned to look outward for answers, to experts, to institutions, or even just like the prevailing opinions around us.
It's true. It's like we're constantly searching for external validation.
Yeah.
But the book is really urging us to turn inward.
Yes.
To trust our own inner compass.
It is. And that inward journey, as the text suggests, can lead us to a much more profound understanding of who we really are.
Yeah.
Remember that question?
Yeah.
If you aren't really human, or at least completely human, what are you?
Yeah. That one really sparked my curiosity.
It's a question that points to something beyond our physical forms.
Okay.
Something more essential.
Okay, so if we're not just these physical bodies walking around,
right,
then what else is there?
Yeah, right. What constitutes the essence of who we are?
Yeah, beyond the physical.
Yeah, and this is where the book introduces the concept of the soul.
Okay.
It proposes that we are not simply physical beings who happen to have a soul.
Okay.
But rather, we are souls having a human experience. And it's this soul, this deeper self, that holds the key to true healing and lasting transformation.
So it's like our souls are the drivers of our lives.
Yes.
But we've become so preoccupied with the scenery outside that we've forgotten who's actually at the wheel.
That's a brilliant analogy.
It's kinda, yeah.
Yeah, and because we've lost touch with the driver, so to speak, we end up creating chaos and suffering.
Yeah.
We get caught up in that illusion of separation, chasing after external fixes that can never truly satisfy us.
It makes you wonder, you know, if we could tap into that soul level awareness, would our whole perception of the world change?
I think so.
Would our priorities shift?
Absolutely.
Would we make different choices?
I think all of those things would happen.
Yeah.
The text suggests that connecting with our souls can lead to a profound shift in our perception.
Yeah, okay.
We begin to see through those illusions that have been holding us back, and we start to experience a deeper sense of connection, purpose, and peace.
That sounds pretty incredible.
That is.
But how do we actually do that?
Right.
How do we connect with this deeper part of ourselves? Like, is there a step-by-step guide?
Right.
Is there some technique that we can use?
Well, the book doesn't offer a rigid formula, but it does offer some valuable insights. Yeah. It encourages practices like meditation, quiet reflection, spending time in nature.
Yeah.
These practices can help us to quiet the noise of the external world and create space for inner listening.
I see. And the book also emphasizes the importance of forgiveness. Yes. Forgiveness, why is that so important?
Well, holding on to grudges and resentment is like carrying around a heavy weight. It drags us down.
Yeah.
It prevents us from moving forward.
Okay.
Forgiveness, on the other hand, is an act of liberation. It allows us to release that negativity that keeps us trapped in the illusion of separation. It frees up space for love, compassion, and understanding to flow into our lives.
So it's not about pretending that everything's perfect or denying the challenges that we face.
No, not at all.
It's more about shifting our perspective, right?
Yes.
Seeing things from a higher vantage point.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we always have a choice in how we respond to the circumstances of our lives. We can react from a place of fear, anger, or resentment. Or we can respond from a place of love, understanding, and connection to our true selves.
Okay, so we've explored the illusion of separation. We talked about the role of religion. And we've delved into the search for truth.
Right.
And now we're diving into this whole idea of the soul as the driver of our lives.
Absolutely.
Where do we go from here?
That's a great question.
What does it actually look like
Yeah.
to live from this soul-centered perspective?
We'll explore how these concepts can translate
Yeah.
into practical action,
Right.
shaping our choices and our interactions with the world around us.
Sounds good. We've been exploring healing, religion, and the nature of truth.
Right.
And now, let's shift gears and talk about what it actually means to live from a soul-centered perspective.
Yeah.
Because as mind-blowing as these ideas are,
Yeah.
they only become truly transformative when we put them into practice in our daily lives.
Absolutely. It's like, we've been in the garage learning about the car, understanding the engine.
Right.
But now it's time to actually get behind the wheel and take this soul mobile for a spin.
I love that. So how do we navigate this soul mobile?
Right.
Does it give us a roadmap?
Well, the book offers some valuable guidance.
Yeah.
It suggests aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with the principles of love, forgiveness, and understanding. Imagine your soul as the operating system, running your human computer.
Okay.
When the OS is glitchy, full of negativity and fear,
Right.
the whole system suffers.
Right.
Connecting with your soul is like updating that OS for smoother, more joyful operation.
So it's about making conscious choices that reflect our deepest values.
Yes, absolutely.
But how do we do that consistently? I mean, we're constantly bombarded with messages that encourage us to act out of fear and self-interest and competition. It's like swimming upstream sometimes.
It definitely is a challenge, especially in today's world.
Right.
But remember that powerful tool we discussed earlier, our ability to choose in every moment, no matter what's happening around us.
Right.
We have the power to decide how we will respond, how we will act, and what kind of energy we will bring to that situation. It's like we have a little pause button that allows us to check in with ourselves before reacting.
So being mindful and present and aware of those choices that we're making throughout the day. It's like asking ourselves, is this thought, word, or action in alignment with my soul's purpose?
Exactly.
Is it contributing to a more loving and peaceful world?
And it's important to remember that we're not going to get it right all the time.
Right.
We're all human.
Yeah.
We're all on this journey together.
Right.
The key is to keep practicing.
Yeah.
Keep learning and keep growing.
Yeah. It's like we're all works in progress, right?
Absolutely.
And that's okay. It's the journey that matters, not necessarily arriving at some perfect destination.
Exactly. And the beauty of this journey is that it's never ending. There's always more to discover, more to learn, and more to experience.
Right.
It's about embracing that process of becoming and evolving and of moving ever closer to our true selves.
This whole conversation has been really inspiring.
Yeah.
And I keep going back to that final thought from the book. If you aren't really human, or at least completely human, what are you?
Right. It's such a powerful question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It invites us to look beyond the limitations of our physical forms and consider the infinite possibilities of who we truly are.
And I think that's the perfect place to leave our listeners.
Yes.
This deep dive has been just the beginning. Now it's up to each of you to take these ideas and integrate them into your own unique life experiences. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep discovering the truth of your own being.
That's it.
Happy driving.